Hey guys, Psych here. Sorry about that delay, but wasn't really showing that it was a recording just yet. Anyway, so yep, I am doing a second video, or should I say, part. God, I'm fucking tired of this because there's at least a few people that are like, "Hey, we want to see the rest of the video," or you had to end it abruptly, which yeah, I did. So actually, I had to end the stream, and I said, "Yep, sure did." He said, "That's abrupt." Haha. It is indeed a bad place to be, though. Said, yeah, I didn't have much time to make this video yesterday, so I'm making the rest of it now. After a couple comments, I was just like, you know what, just fucking finish it. So, moving on from that, so where I left off, basically, because at first I wasn't going to make the rest of this video because I would say, kind of said at least the most important part of it, but here we go. So, moving on from that. So, yeah, he was asking me about it and everything. And we had a bit of a chat for a few minutes. And, we kept on talking about how, he felt that, that people attempting suicide was ridiculous. And, I just told him, not everybody that is suicidal is just looking for attention, actually. I mean, yeah, there's definitely people that are suicidal that are looking for attention and all that, but that wasn't with my case. And then there's plenty of other cases I've seen where they legitimately are just down on their luck, or just for one reason or another, they're just not in the right mind. And that's kind of the biggest thing, I guess I would say, about being in a suicidal thought, is that you just really are not in the right mind. In your right mind, in some ways you're like almost a different person. Really you are. I mean, just like this one time, I've even told the story, but I'll say it once again. This one guy who their kid died, and so they actually stepped in front of a semi in order to attempt suicide. And when I was talking to him, I just thought, oh shit, how do you survive, And I mean, he didn't have a scratch on him. And so I'm just like, holy shit, how you survive? And he said, well, the guy in the semi had plenty of time to stop. It's like, oh, okay. So that makes sense, because when you aren't really in your right mind, you aren't going to do something logically. And so when he stepped in front of the semi, he gave the semi guy like so much time ahead of time to stop that, he didn't even get hurt, because he just wasn't in his right mind. So that when you do attempt suicide, you don't even do it logically. Just like how, let's say, even something like, let's say you're going to hang yourself. Well, you're likely going to forget something because, again, you aren't really in your right mind. Like, for instance, you might forget the right kind of rope. You might forget the tight right, because you just aren't thinking straight. And that's why sometimes, we call it attempting suicide, because, I mean, sometimes it just doesn't done right the first time. You know what I mean? And and because some people even ask me, how could you attempt suicide? If I was going to do it, I would do it right. And like I said, you just are not in that right mind when you are about to do something like that. And so you might fuck something up, and, your mind could be here, it could be there, it could be everywhere. And next thing you know, you just down a bunch of pills, and then you realize it's not the right kind of pills to kill yourself with, and next thing you know, you need to take a shit. I actually saw that, or chatted with somebody that happened to them. They didn't even make sure it was the right kind of pills. But moving on from that. Yeah, just crazy shit. That's just one thing that you learn when you go through something like that. The world really is just nuts. It just really is nuts. like a bag of nuts, a bag of big, big nuts. But and of course, in the middle of the conversation, at one point, the guy asked me, "So why did I do it?" And I just told him, "Well, in a nutshell, I did it because I just lost faith." And it took about 4 years of depression, that and some things happening that are too personal to talk about. But in a nutshell, I eventually lost faith. And it's because I was just working all the damn time. I was just working all the damn time, you know, proving myself so that I was able to be able to get back into, taking class with the other kids, in high school, without taking just special ed and being treated like I can't do everything like everybody else can, or, that kind of bullshit. You know, it really did take a lot of work, but then the problem is that when I, of course, got to that point, the work just did not stop, and I was still working more than I would say your average, teenager guy at the time, because now I had to stay in that spot so that I wasn't, cast out again due for the same reason. And I even had to do things like, get out of track. For instance, I had to get out of sports at one point in my senior year. Then, of course, you know, that's a bit after, but, it was just one thing after another. And, it eventually led to a point where I just felt like I was just working so damn much, but I was always working towards somebody else's goal, you know? I was always being controlled and all that, I was always being told, what my interests were supposed to be, and, just bullshit like, you know, like I'm supposed to be doing something when I get out of high school. And then I started realizing things at the time, like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing? I mean, I'm fine with getting a job and stuff, but like, you guys are just acting like I'm destined to be doing something, like it's my destiny or something. And I'm just supposed to be passionate about it because you guys just tell me I'm supposed to be passionate about it. And I was just unhappy all of the damn time. And then I also wondered when is all this work eventually going to stop? When is it going to end? And I just felt like the work was never ever going to end, because every time I got the work done, then another stockpile of work, more work would just get pushed onto my shoulders, my back, when I needed a fucking break. And then, long story short, it just got to a point where I lost faith, you know? I just felt like I was never ever going to be happy, like I was just always going to be working all of the damn time. I was never going to get a break that I needed, and I lost faith, you know? I just felt like I was never ever going to be happy. And then, of course, eventually throughout the nights, and then at one point, soon after I saw my father after attempting suicide, he was in tears. In fact, I actually heard that he almost passed out. And then, of course, at that time in the hospital afterwards, I was just like, I guess just think about it, you know. So I thought it over when I went to the hospital in Iowa City. And yeah, I just kind of thought it over. I was in that hospital for like, I don't know, at least a month or two. I was in there for a bit. And oh my God, it was like a prison. Guys, if you ever do a crime, never plead that you are crazy, okay? You do not want to be in the nut house, okay? Do not ever, ever plead that you are crazy, because if you are put into a nut house with a bunch of crazy people, it could even be worse than prison sometimes. Do not. If you are ever caught in a crime, do not ever tell people that you're crazy. But of course, I was in there just because I attempted suicide. So yeah, there you go. But a lot of this stuff I could just look back and laugh at. So don't feel sorry for me. Again, don't feel sorry for me. Because it's like I said, the world is just fucking nuts. And I always think it's funny how sometimes, even to this day, people will criticize me for either being homeschooled at one point. To this fucking day, I'm 33 fucking years old. People to this day are still criticizing me for being homeschooled. And I just think, why should I worry about something like this? You know what I mean? This is something that's not really important. And just like other things that aren't really important are just things like, this is what I went through growing up. That's not really what's important. And what's also not important is sometimes we want to see people, they're like, they always they always compare themselves and what they went through versus what others went through. And then they always bring it up in conversations, and then they want you to sympathize with them. And of course, I just stopped talking to people like that, because that's just not what's important. What's important is that we are pushing through, we are making it through, we are surviving, we are getting along with each other. That's the thing that is the most important. Because if we seriously can't work with each other and get along, then all hell is going to break loose. Is what's going to happen. I'm not going to compare myself and what I went through with what somebody else went through. I mean, yeah, sometimes I'll kind of point at the kids that think that they have it so bad and think like, oh man, you kidding me? I had it so much fucking worse than you fucking guys. you guys are like spoiled in fucking comparison to what I went through. It's like, yeah, but I don't have that many friends. It's like, you kidding me, kid? I didn't have any fucking friends when I was your age. I might maybe sometimes do that and try to teach them something about life. But, I'm not going to do it in a way that just makes them feel insecure, of course. And, I don't want to make people feel like I'm being judgmental about, what the way that they think. I'm trying to teach somebody something. I'm trying to teach something about life. You know what I mean? Of course, not everybody's going to listen to me, but, that's just life. Not everybody's going to listen to you. And God knows how many people I see on YouTube trying to find some attention. Oh my God. These fucking attention whores all over fucking YouTube. This is like their fucking life depends on it. I've even seen sometimes them trying to subscribe to each other. It's like, hey, if you subscribe to me and I subscribe to you, then we've got one more subscriber for each. That doesn't fucking work. Like I said, the world is just fucking nuts. But, of course, sometimes these people don't ever get attention because they just do not know, what's most important. What's most important is, helping people out, helping yourself out included. And, people also, they have to want to help. You know what I mean? Just like, people want to help with, my love doll videos. They want to know how to properly clean the dolls, how to sleep with the dolls, etc. Well, there's my brother again. I'll see you guys later. Bye.